What's going on, guys? I started a project a long time ago. It feels like forever. Where I wanted a twin turbo my Camaro. I got a few other videos on YouTube where things got mounted and things like that, but the car was never done. Basically, what had happened was I mathed out how much money I needed for the project, which was nowhere near close. And I got cracking. I think I'd calculated like 2,500. And anyway, 6 weeks into the project, I've already spent 4 grand, and I'm not rich at all. I'm just average Joe, and I don't finance things, so this is all cash out of pocket. And then something happened, and I had to move and buy a house. So being a responsible person, I had to any money I got could not go in the car. It had to go into buying a house. So I did that, and then work got slow, and then work picked up. So after work picked up, interesting thing happened. I came this close to not finishing the project because I bought a second car. It's a '94 Camaro Z28 with a LT4 383 stroker, 6-speed. It's got a ton of stuff on it: electric water pump, aluminum drive shaft, shocks, and I got it for a crazy price. It was just insane. I'm not going to tell you because one day I want to sell the car, and anybody who knows how much I paid for it will, want to talk me down because I want to ask a lot for it. Not to be a dick, but those cars are selling for a lot now, and it's sick. It's convertible. I'll show you in a bit. Anyway, I decided that I couldn't transfer enough stuff off of the SS to the Z28 to make it worthwhile. So I was going to finish the Z28 project. So I got that done. I want to say I think I initially calculated like 2,500 bucks, and then after getting into it, it ended up being close to 5 grand, 6 grand. There's a video I've got on here where I screwed up the fuel tank, and having me and the kids, ride in the car, and the last thing I want to do is burn to death. It was worth spending some money to get a new fuel tank in there and installed and all that. And that put my price up close to $1,000 after all the bullshit. So it was about 6,500. What I spent with the fuel tank fuck up about 5,600 without. Which in reflection, I'd done a lot better going with the kit. But just going with the kit would have been like, okay, that's cool. But I learned so much. I didn't even know anything about turbocharging. I had to sit there and learn about compressor maps and this and that. I made a mistake, and mistakes here and there with ordering stuff, and every mistake costs money, and it's like, damn, it gets a bit stressful. But I think that's just what people who turbocharge a car go through. Would I ever turbocharge a car again? Absolutely. It was fun, and the reward is right there. People hear the car. It's like you don't even have to really even floor it, but those turbos go, and people just hear them swooshing up, and it's like, yeah. I raced in Mexico. Corvette Stingray yesterday, and he was in front of me, and he didn't want to let me pass. Like he could just tell, like he wasn't trying to race me. He was like passive aggressive, but I'm behind him, and it's a 3-lane road, and there's him up ahead of me, and then there was another car in like we'll call it the slow lane. So I'd gotten in the fast lane, and he had pulled into the fast lane in front of me, and so I was like, okay, whatever. I pull into the middle lane and start giving it some gas. Well, he starts giving it some gas too. So I'm like, okay. So I give it some more gas, and I'm still gaining on him. So he decides to floor it. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I dropped the hammer. I gave it the sauce, dude. And I pulled up on this dude so fast. Like it was ridiculous. Like I think not only did I beat his car, I think I beat his soul too. Because the look on the guy's face, he was just like I just shot his puppy or something. And I had to dump on him too. I got next to him and just let off the gas. And dude, it was scary because I don't fully trust the tune yet, so I had adrenaline. One from going so fast, but two because oh my god, is my pistons gonna fly out? I don't know. I'm just paranoid like that. Anyway, this is a walk around of my build. After that, I may or may not, I'm not sure yet. Do some pulls. I've gotta go and drive on the highway in a little bit, so I may take some footage of doing some highway pulls. But definitely happy with the results so far. Completely, so much torque. It's ridiculous. Anyway, but please enjoy my build, and if you have any questions, just ask them in the the comment section. I'll give you any information I can if you're considering turbocharging your own car, or even what routes you want to go. Please feel free to. I'm available. I answer questions. Just watch the video and enjoy. Catch you later. Here's my girl. She is dirty. And yes, I need to clean her. So that's just the way it works. I need to introduce my other thing real quick. This is my other car. We got a 94 Z28. It's got a LT4 engine, 383 stroker. Lots of upgrades. Very quick. Got it for an amazing price. I'm not even going to disclose the price, but this is what I've been driving around. The best part of this car, in my opinion, is that it's stick shift. So, you know, a little rough around the edges, but for what I paid for it, very awesome deal. So much fun. Anyway, end of the build. This is my charge pipe. It's a 4-inch pipe. It's actually, this section right here is off a K&N FIPK intake. That was that charge pipe. I picked that because it was already there, and it already had provision for the mass airflow sensor. So that was easy enough to go ahead and attach to with this 3-inch pipe, this 4-inch pipe. I will say that we got a transition right here. I'm going to throw in things that I've learned just because I was learning. I was new. I knew nothing. This transition from 3 to 4 inches is too close to this mass airflow sensor, and it gives me faulty mass airflow sensor readings. So because of that, the tune is speed density, and that's the tune that I got on here right now. Down here, I have a wideband. Down here, I've got this wired into my AC pressure sensor switch, which is right here. Basically, that orangey red looking wire with the black stripe is the one that you'll need to splice into. There's a switch down there where I can turn the signal on and off, but if you are going to do that, this is the way that you can use HP tuners without, you know, having the wideband read directly into HP tuners without, you know, having to have the Pro version, which is like $150 more. You'll need to unplug this when you're taking logs, because this will still, you know, get readings and it'll skew the numbers, and you don't want that. You want accurate wideband readings if you can get it. I threw in a catch can. I'm honestly not even sure if I installed it right, but it's in there. I also, you know, for some safety, bought a, you know, vented thingy cap. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to overpressure things or give, you know, any crankcase pressure a place to escape. Added in these tubes right here, just to, well, for various reasons. I needed to tee off this one. Goes into the cab, and that's to my boost gauge. Got a mechanical boost gauge, and then this one runs around the front. Down there, you can't see it, but see if you can see it down here. I got a blow-off valve right there. I'll have to get under the car to show you. Have the eBay intercooler. I think it's the one that everybody gets. I think it was like $100 or something like that. Mounted with a custom-made, highly you know, highly classy homemade bracket that actually works really well. It's been on there for almost a year, and you know, it does the job. It holds the intercooler in place with no problems. We'll go ahead down the side of the car. We'll get back under the car in a few. The charge pipe, I tried like a son of a bitch to run the charge pipe up around the wheel well, and I just couldn't get enough clearance. You'll see I cut a section out there, if you can see it. I cut that section out, folded it over. I tried everything I could to get it in there. There's a bit of a cavity just up here, but it just wouldn't clear the wheel enough. So I ended up going under the car, and what I did was, it was 3-inch feed pipe, 3-inch charge pipe. I ended up flattening it out in a vise because it was too low otherwise, and it's still pretty low now. I think I need to pull that up a little bit. But I really don't scrape that much on stuff. But I took these pipes and I slowly crushed them in a vise to make them like oval shaped, and that actually really worked out really well. Just getting me some ground clearance. Yeah, you know, I'll stay away from speed bumps, but for the most part, I don't even know that it's there. So that's what I did. Charge pipe runs down the side of the car, and you know, some people might not like the fact that the pipe's visible, but you know, I kind of liked it. I kind of like the blue on black. People are like, oh, what's that? You know, what you got going on? So it runs down the side of the car, makes a turn, I bought like a meter length of silicone tube. It was cost me an arm. It was like $100+ but it's actually worked out pretty well because I've added some flexible bits in, so you know these pipes will move, and you know it allows it to move rather than holding it stiff. You know, I don't know how to weld aluminum, so knock on wood. I mean, I've been driving around for a week now and nothing's blown off. I went ahead and double clamped to anything that was iffy, just because I'd rather have 2 clamps than have to go down there and redo a charge pipe. Here's the fun bit. It's my turbos. They are eBay GT35s. You know, I think they cost me 166 each. I had an exhaust guy cover the flanges so that they were pretty much lined up, and that was like 200 or something bucks well spent because, you know, I'm not a welder. I wish that with these oil lines I had gone with like maybe a straight 90-degree piece instead of this 45, just because I could have kept it all tucked in a bit better. But the oil line there, you know, runs into that, goes behind, and there's that one right there. So the T-in, yeah, the T right there. Now what you don't see is there's a check valve. I'm trying to get the camera on it. Right there, that black thing. There's a check valve right there to stop, because the turbos sit lower than the oil pan, and the oil will backflow and come out of the turbos. It's one of the problems that you're going to run into with an STS system. I have to make sure that the oil drain pump that I have runs for about 30 seconds to a minute after, just to suck all the oil out of the pipe so that it doesn't flow out of the turbos and I don't wake up to oil stains beneath my turbos. I think there's some other videos where some people have put check valves in different places that may have better results, but unfortunately that's just one of the problems you're going to run into with an STS setup or a rear mount setup, in my opinion. All the exhaust was heat wrapped. I had bought, it's heat wrapped all the way from the front to the back. I bought about 300 feet of heat wrap off of eBay, and I used about 4.5 rolls. It was 6 rolls. I think I have like a roll and a half left. So yeah, something like that. Charge pipe here, a 2.5 inch, with 2.5 inch silicone couplings, and then I bought a Y pipe right there. And all this stuff, like whenever you buy it, it's, you know, 20 bucks for this, 30 bucks for that. You know, this thing was like 25 bucks or some shit. But you know what? It wired in. It was done. I didn't have to weld nothing. So, you know, I bought that special Y pipe that went from the 2.5 inch to the 3 inch, and that was fine by me. Blow-off valves are eBay blow-off valves. Not blow-off valves. Wastegates. eBay wastegates. Can't remember what size they are. They're either 38. I think they're 38 millimeter. I got 2 of those. Just dump straight to atmosphere because we're right there at the end of the thing, and so far they appear to be working. You can't really see the feed line right now. Hold on, let's try and get a look in there. You can see the oil feed right there. Basically what that's doing, I mean, that comes out of the top and it runs, you can't see it, but it's kind of back there somewhere. Yeah, there we go. It runs into a T-block, and that runs all the way down to the front of the car, and I got it behind as many heat shields as possible into, I guess the block has an oil port or whatever you can just kind of thread into. I can't remember what size it is, but you know, you had to take the alternator off to do that, to get to that. But that was fun. So definitely doing this in your driveway is difficult, to say the least. Yeah, the exhaust tips, I had somebody weld, I bought the flanges, standpipe flanges, exhaust tips welded directly onto them. This resonator, they're actually resonated tips, really cut the sound down, which I wasn't really happy. Sorry guys, camera died. I was gonna say, these resonated tips really cut down on the sound. They cut down on the turbo swooshy whistle thing, and the whole exhaust tone, even on top of the turbos themselves, which really cut the sound down. If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have gone with resonated tips, and eventually I'll work on it, but I'm honestly so done with this project, I really don't feel like doing it. Because it's an STS setup, we have an oil return pump that got wired in here now. Yeah, I know, it's terrible. Forgive me, y'all. I got a lot of shit going on back here. I do tow a wave runner with my Camaro. I've also got a system that's back here usually. So some of these wires are for that, but this is basically the relay for the power. I got it hooked off the battery, but I also got it feeding off of my my remote wire for my amp, which is hooked into, I think it's the running lights. And the reason that I did that was because you want the oil pump to run even when you've taken the key off, to keep sucking oil out of the turbo. And that will run for a good, it'll basically run like when you put the key in and turn the key on but not the car on, it'll start running. And when you take the key out and off, it will still run until you open the door, and then until about 5 to 10 seconds after you open the door to the car. So it just helps to keep oil out of the turbos pulling up. I'll show you where I mounted the oil return pump, if I can. I don't have the car lifted up right now. Get under the car, but it was the eBay one. They tell you it's loud, and dude, it is fucking loud. Do not buy this. It does a great job, but do not buy this. It's too fucking loud. Get like the Turbo Smart one. I think it's like 250. Get that one. Do not get this one, because it's embarrassing. It's super embarrassing. I'm gonna try and show you where I tapped into the oil pan. So hold on. Clearance is terrible. We're going this way. Gonna see the oil pan. Fuck. Damn. Yep, I tapped into the oil pan right there. That's a hairy thing to do. This is a convertible. There's a lot of support braces. That was about the only place I could tap into the oil pan. And I wish I'd gone a bit higher on it, but it is what it is. There is JB weld around that, but I honestly didn't need it. That was just for safety. Used a tap and die set, and then threaded in, I believe it was 1/8 threaded brass threaded fitting or some shit like that from Home Depot. Threaded that in with some Teflon tape, and it's held great. Not had any issues with this at all, knock on wood. So that's when I went into the oil pan, and yeah, when you drill into that and oil came out, yeah, that was fucking scary. I'm not gonna front, especially being a noob at this, but I'll give you another look at all my wrapped exhaust. You know, that took me a while to do, and that's an itchy job. Make sure you wear long sleeves when you're doing that. Do not even begin to consider doing a rear mount turbo setup without wrapping your exhaust, because it makes a huge difference in how fast it's going to spool. Huge difference. Just inside the car real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and get some footage of driving around later on and show you my gauges. Just got basic gauge pods. Got the eBay boost gauge, thing mechanical, thing works great. The AM's in there right now. This is going to come out eventually. It was just, I just needed something in there to test, but it gets good readings. I got it wired in. There's a fuse panel back here and stuff. I got it wired and grounded in right there, and then everything's running under there. It's all out the way. So yeah, that's about it, I think. We'll go ahead and we'll get some footage of me driving around. It's still not fully tuned yet. It's tuned enough. I tried to injectors. Hold on. Yeah, let's do injectors real quick. I got FIC, and that's fuel injector connection, not clinic. I wanted clinic. I kind of got screwed up. Fuel injectors. It took me about an hour or so to put in. And then I tried to tune it myself, and I'm not a tuner, but I tried and I couldn't do it. So I ended up paying Pat G to tune my car, and I'm still kind of waiting for him to finish up on it. The dude's super busy right now, but I will say he does good work. There's 1,000cc injectors. At 5 pounds of boost, I think my maximum injector duty cycle is 30%. So E85, definitely worth giving it a shot. I'm going to give E85 a shot. We'll come back and we'll just do some pulls.